Hello, welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we are doing something totally different. Okay, so I was around the YouTube streets minding my own business, but not really. And I saw this garden and it was so pretty that I was like, I need to review this because it's different. It's called Tour a Garden Full of Texture, Stone and Water, California Talk and Tour, Ruby and Frank Andrews. And I got this from the Garden Gate channel. Subscribe or check on that channel because I do watch it and they have really good content. Okay, so I am excited. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, and today we're here in Ruby Andrews Garden in Northern California. Ruby, thanks so much for having us.
Well, thank you for coming. It's my pleasure to show you through the gardens.
Thank you.
Look at this
Your front yard is
background.
beautiful.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
I love this arch with the water feature. How did the arch come?
Okay, so we saw a little bit, just a little bit. We're going to see more. And I'm going to be chopping this up. I'm sorry. But do you guys see the texture? Like, I love the Hycanocloa in the corner. Let me see if my mouse will show you right here. It's like a big bright green in the garden. And then this Japanese maple is low growing. The purple with the blue in the back. And this, what is this? A spruce of some sort, a blue spruce. All the colors, just the colors, the textures are different. Some are bold, some are fine. I'm in love already, but let's get back to Ruby.
About and
When we first got here, we had sold our property in the country to a man that has a nursery, and he makes these arches.
Oh,
And
nice.
so in the deal, I said, I need an arch. And so anyway, Scott said, fine, I'll make you an arch. And we brought it, and we positioned it over by those two trees originally. But then when we got the rock that was kind of a water feature, we moved it over to say that, just to kind of frame it.
Yeah.
And when people come to go through the gardens, they come up the walkway, and this is where they start.
Sure.
And I can usually kind of tell them where they're going and what they're going to see. And they always enjoy this area.
Yeah.
But then as we go into the rest of the garden, they get to see much more.
Yes, I know. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Good, good. I'm glad that you're here to see it.
Yeah. Well, let's go look.
Okay.
Okay. Ruby, I've noticed some really cute frogs as we've kind of made our way here. Here's one on a bike. There's one in a bird
Oh,
bath.
that's so cute.
And I know we have more along Frog Lane here behind us. And can you tell me kind of how, I think it all started with one special frog, didn't it?
A friend of mine made a
I love it when people have these quirks, like where they can have like statues or they could have, little gimmicky things like this, like frogs hidden in the garden. And it's so effortlessly done. Like, look at this frog with this vining thing underneath it. I forget the name. I almost feel like it's a weed in my area. Is this a creeping Jenny? No, it can be a weed. Let's keep going.
rather large, interesting frog, and I had placed it on a porch. Then I moved it to another spot, and I never felt I had it where it belonged. One day I was over on the side of the house, and I picked up the frog and brought it with me. And the pedestal there needed something special. So I put the frog on, and it became Frog Lane.
That it was.
Yep, there it was.
Shall we go take a look?
Yeah, let's go
Let's
see.
go. Oh, that one's really cute, right?
Another pause. Another pause. Do y'all see what I see? I am in love. This is the sweetest pathway with this. What is this growing on the side here? Some kind, I don't think it's a fern. It's a low growing plant or shrub. I love how it's uniform on the side. And this red Japanese maple just kind of leaning off the side. And normally I would say I would like this side to mimic this side, but the way she did it is just perfect. And I love the walkway with these, what is this? This kind of concrete. There's a word for it. It just looks so lush, so green with the arbor right here, just beckoning you in. This is, it's so pretty. I had to stop. Okay, let's keep going.
Right there. I like that little happy frog.
Yep. Most of them are pretty happy, but this is the one that
Oh,
got
yeah.
frog. This is actually very unique.
It is very
And
unique. I like
I
it.
have people who are scared by it. But I just
I
think
don't know. He
it's-
looks kind of happy.
I think
Yeah.
he's perfect.
Yeah,
I think
he's
he's
great.
just perfect.
And even better, your friend made it.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We're leaving Frog Lane and coming into the other parts of the garden, and we have an arbor there that kind of transitions us from this area to the patio area. It's been growing.
Full pause. I'm sorry. But you y'all see this? An arbor with this cedar, like, what is this? A weeping cedar on top of an arch arbor? This is so beautiful.
On that arbor for
Oh my
almost the
God.
whole 11 years we've been here.
I love
This is something that y'all might see in my garden. I would love to have this, especially in the wintertime. Gorgeous.
that you have a weeping tree. I mean,
Yes,
usually you're
yes.
going to see a climbing rose or a clematis, but the weeping tree looks fabulous. It's a very unique
Well,
way.
normally I like to do my arches with trees. I like this one to have the arch, and the ones down Frog Lane, you'll notice they arch,
Yeah.
and in other areas. But this one had to be done in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes such a nice entrance to your
It
to your
is.
seating area. This is beautiful, Ruby.
I love it, and that was a birthday gift, the blue fountain,
Oh.
which is, so it makes it a favorite. Frank gave me that for my last birthday. In the winter, the grass is all down and gone, and then you see the granite bowl, which
yeah.
is 150, 200, I mean, very
nice.
old, very
Very-
carved,
oh,
and it goes so well with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry if I'm pausing this, but do you guys see the texture? Like the Hakana Chlor and this, I think this is a Japanese maple. The texture just goes so perfectly together. It's like I'm changing my thought about gardening. Before I would say, flowers and more flowers is like the way to go. But this video is just like, there isn't really that many flowers. Like you see a little bit over here, but I'm seeing just the colors, they mesh so well together. The foliage, the way the foliage is formed. Let's keep going. Let me
But
show
this
you.
time of year
Look
is-
at this foliage here with this texture and the texture behind there and this there. It just all meshes so well together. So it's good to have texture in your garden that's not too similar, because if everything is similar, it just looks like a giant mess. But if you can, hone in on your textures and where you place the plants, then it creates a beautiful symphony. Like this is gorgeous. She did an amazing job, and it keeps going. Let's see what's
Kind of hidden.
The Hakana Chlor is
yes,
kind of hiding
yeah.
it a little bit, but
But no, you can't take very many steps in the garden and not see a maple.
oh, nice. Yeah,
There
you
are
have a
maples.
lot of them.
I have a
yeah,
lot
all
of
different
maples.
colors and sizes
yes.
and shapes.
And yes, and some of them are very lacy, and others are more substantial.
Yeah.
And so I just enjoy them all.
yeah.
Okay, rewind. I gotta see that again. That was so masterful. That was so beautiful. Oh, fluffy and not fluffy together.
Kind of hidden.
The Hakana Chlor is
yes,
kind of hiding
yeah.
it a little bit, but
But no, you can't take very many steps in the garden and not see a maple.
oh, nice. Yeah,
There
you
are
have
maples.
a lot of them.
I have a
yeah,
lot
all
of
different
maples.
colors and sizes
yes.
and shapes.
And yes, and some of them
Look at this view. Look at the textures. Oh my God. Oh Lord. This is spectacular. I can't use too many verbiage, too many different adjectives. I could live there. I want to just snuggle underneath this plant right here, just lay underneath and just and just relax. Have a nice book and some iced tea or any tea. This is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Just look at it. Jesus.
are very lacy, and others are more substantial.
Yeah.
And so I just enjoy them.
yeah.
all of them.
They have beautiful foliage. Now, stone has been something you've had to deal with quite a bit here, isn't it?
Yes, but I dealt with it for so many years when we lived on a ranch that when I got here, one of the reasons we purchased this home was for the stone
Oh, nice.
because I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
The stone, stone, I don't know, it's nature.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Yeah. And it's such a great contrast with the
Yes.
foliage.
Yes. And I love to work off of it because it makes things just shine.
This is another spot that I thought was gorgeous. Okay, let me press play. I'm so excited. I don't even know what to say. Let me.
Like columns and some statuary. And But Hiro Matsuda, who I mentioned earlier, worked with me on the garden. And when he saw me bring those in, he was horrified. You cannot have these. And I said, Hiro, it's my garden and we're going to have them.
Yeah.
So you cannot have these.
The container has this. Is this an asparagus fern in there with this Japanese maple? The textures even look good together. Like you can see the green. I like how this green stands out in comparison to this green. The chartreuse green with this green in the background. The textures are not fighting. They're happy to be together. They're not the same. They stand out. This is garden perfection. Good job.
And I said, Hiro, it's my garden and we're going to have them.
Yeah.
So we brought the columns and put them in, but they had one more section that took them up about another 3 or 4 feet.
Oh, yeah.
And when that section went on, they were looming.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I didn't tell him I was going to change him. So after he left, I told the guys, take this section out, which is in the garden and they're pedestals now.
Yeah.
So then they became much more
Yeah.
user friendly.
Yeah. They're very welcoming. Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
everybody wants a picture here or a picture in the front.
Yeah.
By the by the arch.
Yeah.
These are the two pictures. And during pandemic, it was funny. I had my garden club here, and we all stood the 3 feet apart on these rocks and have a picture. So so
fun.
hey, you do what you do.
Yep, you got
and
it.
it worked out well.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great. Well, I think you have a special story about the fountain, a little sculpture that's in there too.
Yes, I do. When my grandson was a year old, I was taking
This fountain is so beautiful and is tucked in like at the perfect spot. It's not showing off right in the front of the garden. She allows you to see the garden, hear the sound of the fountain, and the path just is kind of maneuvering in, and then you see the fountain tucked in. I also love the brown. Like I see a lot of stone, I see black, you see a lot of different colors, but this brown just stands out, but it's also muted. I love this fountain. I can just imagine how beautiful it is, just where it's stationed, and it also blends well with the plum Japanese maples in the background. Beautiful.
care of him. And we went to a nursery and I saw it and had to have it. It was down in the Bay Area, Alamo, actually. And so brought it home.
Yeah.
And every time I see it, I think of Ryan.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
So lots of memories here.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yes.
Nice. Yeah.
Most things in the garden do have memories.
Yeah.
It's, I guess I've lived long enough to
Yeah.
have a lot of memories. That's
a
probably-
good thing.
That's the problem, probably. Another thing I need to point
I love memories. And like if you can have a story attached to your gardening journey or the plants or the statuary, the things that you choose, it just makes it that much more fun. Especially gardening doesn't happen in a day. Like you won't achieve this in 1 week unless you bring the big guns in and they kind of pluck a tree from there and put it in and just create a whole design overnight. That is possible. But most of us at-home gardeners, we aspire to this, right? And I'm sure it took her years to get to this point. But just imagine the journey and now looking back and just seeing it all together. Beautiful. And the ferns in the garden right underneath this, pedestal with the pot is just dressing up the bottom. Oh, beautiful. Good job, Ruby.
out to you, Sherry,
Yeah.
is this is the Niagara Falls white pine.
Oh, nice.
And they are, as far as I'm concerned, very unique and hard
Yeah.
to find.
Uh-huh.
I saw my first one, and it was 2 years before I could find one to
Oh,
buy.
wow.
So
Yeah.
I have one here, and one over there. And when they get a little large, they just cascade like Niagara Falls.
Oh,
They
how
are
cool.
absolutely gorgeous.
Now, how old are these plants?
I've had them about 4 years.
Okay. So
And
are they kind of slow growing maybe?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
And where was it you saw them before?
I was in a garden in Loomis, and he said, well, you won't be able to find one. I said, tell me what it is.
It was a challenge then,
yes,
huh?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So that's a good reason.
Just pause for the garden. Pause for the garden. The trees, everything. There is no flowers, but this is a feast for the eyes. All right. Just one more second. All right, let's go back. Let's go back.
To go on garden tours.
Oh,
You can just
I definitely
find
go on
stuff,
garden
yeah.
tours,
Yeah.
and I always learn something.
Oh yeah.
Every
And then
garden tour has something unique or
Yeah.
special for me.
they
so.
do, don't they?
Yes,
Yeah. And then
yes.
you can, of course, you get to discover plants you maybe didn't know about.
Well, yes, that's true,
Yeah.
always. And then I have learned to put plants where they don't belong.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean, you'll see things in the sun and you go, that's shade.
Yeah.
You'll see things in the shade and they're blooming.
Uh-huh.
But we have filtered light almost all day long.
Oh, okay.
And that is so perfect for
Yeah.
growing things.
Oh yeah.
And,
well, I can see.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the ornamental ginger,
That pond perfectly situated. I love how the statue is not peeing from a different place, you know, where they like to make them pee from. Pee, excuse me. It's not, you know, pouring something from that spot. But it's using a fish. That is so cute. And I love how this dogwood is just setting all the green off. But the different greens tell a story. They are also a showstopper. You don't always have to have color. Like, look at this green upon this green, and this green upon this green, and this green. And because she chose different leaf cuttings, you know, different textures of the leaf and different colors, chartreuse, dark green. And this, you know, this rock here is perfect with the moss on it. And look at this. This is a Japanese maple that's low growing and it's just hidden, tucked in there. It's just the bold leaf. Look at the bold leaf here. Everything is just stunning. You know, it looks like nature did it, but somebody was back there just, you know, designing it ever so. Just perfect. It's lovely. I really like this water. It sounds like it's just so peaceful. Okay. Let's get back to it.
up there with the stripes.
Oh yeah.
That is another plant that just isn't supposed to overwinter, but you can see where it's tucked in. It's protected.
Yeah, it's got a lot of protection.
Yeah,
Is
it
it in
is.
the ground then?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
I don't baby things.
Uh-huh.
And then
Yeah.
the ferns behind you, those aren't supposed to overwinter,
Oh, really?
but they do
Oh, good.
because they're protected.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good protection
So,
here.
yeah.
Well, I hear another water feature. I think you have a waterfall over here. Shall we
We
go
do.
take a look at that?
Yes.
That'll be great. So we finally get to meet Cousin It.
This is a funny story too, Sari. The acacia cousinette was developed probably 8 or 9 years ago. And there was one in one of the nurseries here, but the owner said, I'm not selling that. That's
Yeah.
my only one. So I looked and checked and found one in Fresno. And we were there on a trip. So we went out in the country for miles to the
Who wants a cousin it? I want a cousin it. I want a cousin it. Look at that. It looks so soft and fluffy and it's big and it's just creating shade and it's a different texture than any other plant around it. It's perfect. I want a cousin it. Make more cousinets. Make more cousinets. Send it my way. Ontario. Canada.
2 of them, and they were sold.
Uh-huh.
But they said they haven't picked them up. So give us your money and you can have them. Yes. So
You
the
scored.
acacia cousin it is supposed to be a 3 or 4 foot plant,
Yeah.
a shrub.
Yeah.
we had to prune these up to become trees because they were just killing everything underneath.
Yeah.
And so I actually have pretty good luck with the acacia cousin.
I think you do, yeah.
Yes.
It looks
And
fabulous.
of course, I had never watched the show with Cousin It.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea why it was called that, and people thought that was funny. And I went, I didn't watch those silly shows.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it has a history, and most people
Yeah.
really love it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
For good reason. It's got great texture.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really great.
And it's great to use in arrangements.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Oh,
That's
yeah, they're
really
they're graceful
Yeah.
and pretty. And another maple.
Yeah.
And
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love the variegation, how it just
Yes.
really brightens up the shady spot.
Well, that's true. Whenever I use all of my greens, if I don't brighten it, it can get pretty.
Watching this garden, my eyes are darting everywhere. You just don't get enough, and it's not overwhelming because it's like almost, it's soothing in a way. It's just your eyes are not tired. There's places to rest your eye. The stone, the green, the different shades of green. I've said that so many times. And then I love how she didn't shy away from, plum color trees and Japanese maple. It's like, I just keep looking everywhere.
Pretty green.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. You want to have a little contrast.
It can be
going.
dark.
Yeah.
And this way, even at night, you get kind of like it's a light on.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah,
So-
and I bet once that acanthus is really fully open, that's a
Yes,
great...
we cut it back probably 3 times a year. I have
great.
a bug crawling on me. No, we cut
Sorry.
it back to the ground, and it's back within 2 months.
Oh,
And
cool.
so we kind of manage it, but it's beautiful,
Yeah.
and yeah, I love it.
Nice.
And the Virginias came from a friend. I didn't ever buy a Virginia,
Oh, yeah.
but I put them in, and they've spread here and down there.
Oh, really?
And-
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
no,
Great,
no,
though.
I
That's
guess.
great.
I don't know. But anyway, yes.
Well, there's also a really flowery spot up by your patio. How about, can we go check that out?
Oh, sure. Let's
Okay.
go take a look.
Yeah. Ruby, this bed is so colorful. It's really pretty. How did it come about? What did you think together?
When I first started, it was kind of a nothing area. So I cleared it of very low, they had grass basically, took that out. And then I just started putting plants in that would have some color in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
Because the rest of the garden can be pretty green. I mean, there's a lot of blended maples and grasses and
Yeah.
things.
Uh-huh.
But I believe every plant in this bed you can find in almost any nursery.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing unusual
Yeah.
about them. So when you start, you just kind of combine things until you get happy.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
this
that
makes
makes
me
sense.
happy.
Yeah, uh-huh.
It's not, you're going to say, well, there's nothing special there. They just all work together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Nice.
so,
Yeah.
it's a winner.
Yeah. It looks
And
really
when
great.
when you find it,
Okay, so I love the front garden, but nothing compares to the side garden and the back garden except for the driveway. Okay, this driveway is just, it's like, it's out of this world. It almost feels like the city came to her house and was like, we're gonna fix this up for you. I'm so enamored by her design features. But I'm gonna fast forward it to the driveway.
go this way.
Ruby, I think you have one of the best looking driveways I've ever seen.
It's how we come into our home every day, and so I had to have the driveway as good as the rest of the garden.
course, yeah.
And so you'll find it's layered with all kinds of things. And I laugh, my Japanese maple, I call it my African maple
Oh, yeah,
because of the
'cause-
layer.
You guys see this? This is a driveway. She really did pack it up. She packed it up. But it makes sense. And this way, you don't have to deal with a lot of, I don't like empty spots in the garden anyways. So this is my jam. I love how she has the arborvitaes tucked in. I love how she have dogwoods tucked in, the grasses. And then she has some, some forget-me-nots placed here and there. This driveway with the Japanese maple, it looks like a whole garden in itself, which it is. It's beautiful. She has outdone herself. But let's continue.
The layer, it looks like
But
that
then-
tree. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yes, the layering. The layering is on fire.
Just go along and look in and you'll see color that changes almost every 2 weeks, and camellias whenever we're in
Yeah.
that season, and of course the maples. So it's an area that's beautiful,
Yeah.
but I think that for us, but most people come and look at it
Yeah,
too and enjoy
yeah.
it. So
And
it's special.
you had some really neat ferns.
I really like the little rock walls that she created underneath. I didn't even see it. So it's almost like on a berm, this whole creation, which is what makes the layering stand out too. But she also did a good job putting the small plants in the front and the bigger plants in the top. But great idea to put ferns inside of the rock wall. Beautiful.
Over there that looks like they have like made themselves at home, and they're
They
not
grow
only
right out of the rocks.
yeah, right between the cracks. That was really neat. That was a fun feature.
That's
So,
kind of a special thing that I like.
yeah. Well,
So I'm so glad that you came today.
thank
This has
you.
been fun. We've
Yes,
enjoyed.
it has been wonderful.
It
Thank you
has
for the
been.
tour, and
Yes.
there's lots of special things in your garden. I appreciate you taking the time to show us.
Hey, it's my pleasure, for sure.
Hi, I'm Kristen Beans.
Okay, so who liked the garden? I did. I am so appreciative. I like my own garden, but it's always healthy to look at what's out there and see how people are doing things. Now I think I need to add more texture, more green, but it looks like her whole garden is a perennial garden. And it must be a lot easier to maintain. I don't know if she maintains it all by herself because it looks so fresh and everything looks so like manicured. It's so beautiful. So she must be out there all the time. But she did a good job. Good job, Ruby. Good job, Garden Gate, for showing this to us. So I'm going to put the link to this video below. Let me know if you want me to do more of these types of videos, but I just was so inspired. So I shared it with you guys. But happy gardening, guys. Take care. I'll see you again next time. Bye.